Welcome back, everyone. My name is Kevin. It's so good to be here with you this evening. Now, many of you might be wondering what happened to your social skills coming out of narcissistic abuse. Did the toxic relationship change, alter, or even corrupt your social skill abilities? Well, this is a complicated answer because it may feel like you are socially awkward now. You may feel like you've forgotten how to talk to people. You might feel like you don't even want to talk to people ever again. You're just more comfortable in isolation. And for all these reasons, you can feel like your social skills are just whacked. But I promise you, your social skills are still intact. But there is a process of transformation taking place that we need to talk about. Let's get into it. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. All right, now, before I get deep into this message on what's going on with your social skills coming out of narcissistic abuse, let me remind you that I am here to support you. Down in the description box right below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I do take telephone calls and video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp, so you do not have to feel awkward alone. You can reach out and contact me. We will feel awkward together, and we will unravel what's going on with your social skills. In addition to one-on-one telephone calls and video calls, I also have a private membership available for you where you can get daily live support from me within the privacy of a members-only app. We also have weekly fellowship. There's weekly Zoom call meetings. We're thinking about starting a book club that I think is going to be awesome, and so much more, all in the privacy of a members-only app. You can download the Rowie membership app down below in the description box. If you're having a hard time finding the description box because YouTube has covered it up with their ads, simply look right below this video where it says more and a few dots. Click on that. That will open up the description box, and you can get started by scheduling a phone call, a video call with me, or by joining the Royal We private membership. Now, let's get into this evening's discussion on what in the world has taken place with your social skills. Now, there's two types of people out there. Some of you are really going to feel the weight of your social skills being what seems to be corrupted. You feel like you're awkward around other people. You don't want to talk to people. So it's important to understand that although you feel your social skills are corrupted, they're not. You're still the same person. You still like the same things. You still have the same deep, engaging conversations. You're still the affectionate person. You're still the person who likes to laugh and tell jokes. It's just that your body and your mind is processing on where that gets to be displayed in life, where you get to demonstrate that, and where you shouldn't, where you get to invest all of that and where you don't, where you get to spend your time, where you get to fly to in life, and what you need to stay away from. So while your body is processing this, yes, it's going to feel awkward. Your body and your mind is still learning how to judge appropriately the people you're talking to. And that's really what this is about. It's not that your social skills are whacked or corrupted. It's that you are now introducing this new phase in your life of judging other people. Now, when I say judging other people, I'm not talking about narcissistically putting your finger in their face and telling you what you think about their style and what they're doing in life and how mean and no. That's what narcissists do, right? Narcissists are the ones that walk around with this giant finger, right, pointing at everybody, even though they've got three fingers pointing back at their ugly narcissistic selves, right? But that's what they do. That's their predisposition. They walk around with their finger in everybody's faces, and they're stupid for it, right? Who cares? We're not going to pay attention to that. What we are going to pay attention to is the reality that you are learning to become more judgmental, not narcissistically judgmental, but judgmental as being able to observe, discern, be in tune with your instincts, your gut instincts as to whether or not the person or the people you are talking to or engaging with are worth your time, worth your effort, or if they're dangerous, or if they're good, right? That's what judging people, especially for empaths, is all about. It's not about judging them in a negative way. It's about judging them for your survival. And that, my beloved, you have to do. Nobody is going to handpick and judge people to bring them into your life for you. Nobody's going to bring good people in. Forget all this nonsense of God's going to make sure that only good people come into your life. I mean, I don't know about you, but in my experiences, God has not just brought in good people into my life. Otherwise, I would not be here talking with you. So we've got to stop this nonsense of God's going to bring good people into your life. No. You must learn how to navigate this world full of evil and narcissism. using your discernment, using your observation, using judgment. Judgment to ensure that who you're talking to, who you're engaging with, is good for you. It's learning how to understand who you are. This is what being alone does. Gets you back in tune with who you are, your values, your morals, how you talk. Basically, you're learning the sound of your own voice in this life. Who are you, right? And believe me, it's not a self-discovery journey. You don't need a self-discovery journey. It's a self-acceptance journey. It's where you accept yourself. You accept the way you communicate. You accept your social skills. And out of this acceptance, now you go back out into the world with full, complete acceptance of who you are, judging the people who come into your life to see if you recognize the voice. Are they the voice of your own kind? Or are you entertaining a wolf? Right? If you're a deer, you don't want to be entertaining a wolf now, do you? No, you want to learn how to recognize the voice of other deer. That's where you can play. That's where you can find intimacy. And this is what's taking place while you feel your social skills are breaking down, while you feel your social skills have been ruined or corrupted. The reality is you're learning that your social skills only belong with your social kinds. Well, I'm going to say this again. Your intimate social skills belong with your social kind. You're learning how to recognize the voice of your own kind. Deer, for example, going back to my animal analogy, deer are social and intimate only with deer. A deer knows how to recognize the voice of a buck, right? Even though there's coyotes and hyenas and all kinds of ugly other little critters wandering around, a deer's not going to mess around with them, right? Likewise, you need to recognize through radical acceptance of who you are, how to recognize the voice of your own kind. If you're a deer, you need to be hanging out with the other deers and the bucks. That's where you socialize. We have been conditioned in society, and it's a fault of society. We've been conditioned to believe that we're all the same. We're not all the same. Public institutionalized education, even church, has absolutely ruined people with this stupid nonsense that we are all the same. We are not all the same. In fact, all churches, all schools, what it is a giant mix pot of all kinds of creatures. It's like bringing all the bears and the deer and the elephants and the hippos and the snakes and the rats, bringing them into one room, saying, sit down now, let's all learn to like each other and get along. And guess what? Look, it does work as far as learning and educating, and you can even build stuff together. However, if you notice, certain groups of people start to form together, right, within the school, right? It's animals finding themselves, right? You got the wolf pack at school, and you got the coyote pack at school, and you got the whatever, the cats, right? And you got the rats, and you got the weasels, and you got the snakes, right? Tribalism. Learning how to understand and find the voice of your own kind. Now, what's interesting about this is that I have always been a social butterfly. I'm not one for tribalism. I've never thought of joining I don't need a gang and its goons. I feel that's ridiculous. I would much rather just socially connect with as many people as possible. And this, by the way, was my mindset prior to the royal we, and it's what landed me in a lot of trouble, a lot of narcissistic abuse. And the reason is because I had to discover that while it's okay to be a social butterfly, it's not okay to assume that just gives you a free pass into the lives of others. Being a social butterfly, I have had to learn that I got to stay away from the spiders in this life. I cannot fly into a spider's web being a social butterfly expecting to have a good conversation with the spider. Okay? Many of you who are social butterflies in this life, you operate the same way. You've been floating around thinking that you can get involved and be friends with everybody until wham, you come in contact with a narcissistic person. That's the spider. So it is about learning. Even if you're a social butterfly in this life, yes, you still have the social skills. You are still a social butterfly, and you still will fly and flap those beautiful wings and bring joy and smiles and peace wherever you go. However, during this time, you're learning that you have to fly higher, you have to avoid the spiders, you have to avoid the spider webs, that just because you're a beautiful butterfly does not mean that there's not critters and creatures that are going to try to eat you. And yes, we live in a world full of narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths and other types of creatures in human form that will try to eat you. You've experienced this. Listen, narcissism is just a label. Psychopaths, just a label. Sociopaths, nothing more than a label. You have to remember that these labels didn't exist 100, 1,000 years ago. Maybe they did. I'm going to have to check the history on that. But the reality is they didn't always exist. Yet, we've always seen certain behaviors within people. There's always been cruelty. There's always been bullies. There's always been killing. There's always been lying. There's always been manipulators. There's always been shysters. There's always been these personalities that you're dealing with. Narcissism isn't new. Narcissistic abuse isn't new. One of the first stories we have in the Bible is Cain killing his own brother Abel. I'd call that top tier narcissistic psychopathy right there. Then tried to lie to God about it. Cain, where's your brother Abel? I don't know. Haven't seen him, God. Did I do something wrong? Right? Am I my brother's keeper? Listen, top tier narcissistic nonsense. It's been here since day one. Now, what's fascinating is that the Bible never uses labels like narcissist or psychopath or sociopath. But what the Bible does do, how many of you know? Are you ready? What the Bible does do as far as labeling people is the Bible accurately labels people like animals. Do not throw your pearls to the swine. Be innocent as a dove. Watch out for the snakes. Actually, I think that's Indiana Jones, right? Watch out for the snakes, anything that slithers. You get my point. The Bible compares people in numerous places to animals because there's something different within our nature. We are not all the same. Doesn't matter what your school told you, what your college told you, public institutionalized education, even modern Western world church, they're all on the same page. Let's bring people together and tell them and convince them that they're all kind of the same. They're all one in Jesus. They all learn the same things. And this is what's caused narcissistic abuse. It's essentially the same as bringing all the bears, the wolves, the deers, the hound dogs, everything into one room, saying, okay, everybody love each other. Now, for obvious reasons, at some point, the wolves are going to start hunting the deer. The bears are going to start mauling this thing, right? It's no different with human beings. It's not about some mental disability that you need to medicate. There is no such thing as the one type of perfect person in this world. And I'm going to add this too. All types are needed. In some way, it creates balance. The lions and the tigers and the bears and the deer and the rabbits and everything in this life creates a balance. But what all the creatures of the world understand that humanity has been conditioned not to understand, all these animals understand how to recognize the voice of their own kind. The bunnies know where they belong. The wolves know where they belong. The bears know where they belong. They don't try to mingle. You won't, what happens if a lion gets too close to the buffalo or the elk or whatever? They're like, boop, what you want, homeboy? You ready to roll? Right? All right. And the big bucks will get up there. They'll take on the lion. They'll give it the freaking horn. Back off, dude. But the lion's got to eat, so they're going to do what they do, right? This is kind of how it is. And so humanity operates a lot like that. So no, we're not all the same. Yes, people can work together, educate themselves together, this and that. But as far as becoming intimately involved, you owe it to yourself not to go on a self-discovery journey, but a self-acceptance journey. It's about time to accept who you are. You can appreciate any of the cruel, mean, bullying people out there and be like, yeah, you're tough. Good for you. Good job. You're a badass, right? Go do your thing. But that's not me. I need to find somebody who's a little bit more humble, right? Intimately speaking. Okay. So your healing journey, obviously you're going to feel awkward because you're making this shift. You're realizing that your gifts and your social skills are not for everybody. You cannot speak your language of deers to a pack of wild hyenas. It's not going to go over very well. So you're going to feel awkward until you learn how to properly judge and observe, learn to recognize the voice of your own kind and what the voice of others sounds like, and make a judgment. And the judgment is, how close can I get to you? It's not judging them like you need to change. We're all tired in this world of narcissistic people trying to say, you need to change. That's what narcissists do. You need to change. Narcissists have come up with medications and counseling treatments and plans to change somebody from their behavior. That's what narcissists do. You and I need to come to this place of, we're not trying to change anybody, but I'm just trying to understand how close I can get to you. That's it. I don't have to have you in my life. If I recognize your voice, if we connect, if we speak in the same way, if we have the same common interests, if we have the same morality, if our value systems are in alignment, then we can be closer friends. Okay? And if we have more in common, we can be closer still. This is what it looks like to judge people, to recognize the voice of your kind. Don't be so quick to try to fit into some kind of a tribe. You don't need a Goonie gang to hang out with, okay? What you need is to accept the voice that you have, accept who you are, then accept the voice of your own kind, judge people accordingly, and then that's where you're going to find your intimate relationship. So again, it's normal that you feel socially awkward because you're suddenly realizing that you are surrounded by all different types of creatures that you cannot socialize with all of them. Not the way in which you used to think. That's the point of this message. So give yourself grace, give yourself love, allow yourself to accept who you are. You are a social creature. If you're a social butterfly, you're still that social butterfly, but you gotta learn to fly a little bit higher. Stay out of the spider webs in this life. And the spider webs, by the way, are the narcissists and the narcissist traps. You gotta stay out of that stuff, all right? I'll be back with more right here on The Royal We. If you're brand new to this channel, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future Royal We content. And by the way, check out one of these videos recommended by the YouTube algorithm. And if you do need one-on-one support, head on down to the description box below where you can schedule one-on-one time with me. Video calls are available, telephone calls are available. I'll be back, everyone. Bye.